Beautiful day in the neighborhood, right? Yeah, beautiful day in the neighborhood. If that guy wasn't a chobo, I don't know if y'all know who I'm talking about, but yeah, if that guy wasn't a chobo and the water ain't wet, right? Um, Anyhow, welcome to the real world. Welcome to the new world. Welcome to a new day, My name's Shesh Shesh Dot Way. I'm out here on the Spiritual Ranch. Yeah, it's beautiful spring day out here, May 2nd. I'm off-grid Oracle. I'm sitting right now right on top of the blanket of fog, Just the little tops of the mountains are poking out here around me, It makes you feel really at one with God's kingdom like that, And being up here, alone with that blanket, kind of separating me from everything down lower, And it's a beautiful thing. Yeah, it's always a trippy experience though for me to think, it's like I'm at 2,700 feet, and then there's a lot of places that are like 6,000, 7,000 feet even, and I guess they're still looking down on me right now, but they can't see me where I'm at. Why does that matter? Yeah, it's what it is, man. The world's changing, It really is. The New World Order is no joke. It's coming in here now. And I've been praying on its arrival, actually, to tell you the truth, for a long while, and there's been some major events that have coincided with major prayer sessions that I've had, and so that's what's really reassured me about my connection with Most High, because I've seen manifest into reality the things that they share with me in prayer, It's like, I guess following world affairs and everything right now makes divination a little easier because, we have access to so much media, so much information. A person who has a good ability to predict future trends, has got a lot of information to work with. And so it helps the Most High definitely communicate more clearly and more accurately with the prophets that they have anointed, And so it's been a really interesting experience. It's been an awesome experience. It's been a very growth-oriented experience. And it's very real. We're in spiritual war right now, And so God has called the spiritual warriors that they know are the most powerful, into places where they could be properly fucking trained, get them ordained, get them set, ready to go, And so that's where we're at today. And so I'm developing my skills, of communication, and to be a liaison, for Most High and for the spiritual kingdom and for the change that's coming, to navigate these waters and take orders from high up above, and deliver them down to where they need to be, get them out there to where they need to be heard, where people understand the change that's coming and how we're going to approach this change and how we're going to make this change work out for our best interest and the best interest of the Most High, to where the famine and the hunger and the shame and the disappointment and the hate and the greed and the sorrow and the suffering and the death and all this stuff that we see today, it's going to go away, it's going to change. Money, it's going to go away, it's going to change, it's like currency, the concept of currency is going to change, it's going to go away, we're going to get back to the things that matter most, the things that we can provide simply, the things that we can provide abundantly, the things that God gives us. And we'll see that with gratitude, because it's going to become abundant again. It's going to no longer be destroyed, manipulated, raped, hoarded, hated the way it is today. And so that's why we're here, That's why we've been chosen. We, me, you, they, them, us, we're all in this together, man. This is one big swimming pool right here. We're all a lifeguard. We all got to watch each other's backs, And like at any time, you could be the last one standing on the battlefield. So you got to wear the crown and you got to swing the sword, And you also got to feed the babies. That's just what it is, right? And that's what it takes to be a divine being. A divine being embodies all 4 kings in the deck, all 4 queens in the deck, the emperor and the empress energy, And that's the truth. They come out with the Hierophant and the high priestess, because that individual embodies all of those powers, all of them strengths. They could lead from the bottom. They could be the stone the builder refused, or the head cornerstone. It doesn't matter, the Alpha and the Omega. And this is the new world order that's coming in. It's not the new world order that old man Bush talked about. You know, he's just some backwoods skull and bones moron who's really greedy and likes to molest children, you know, and hurt people and hoard money and do horrible things, man, and raise a moron that wants to destroy the world, you know, kill a bunch of people that are innocent over in the Middle East. We're talking about a new world order that God's bringing in. And it's gonna set them little asses on their them little children on their asses. It's gonna sit him on his ass, and God's gonna tie that stone around that individual's neck, and that person is gonna be treated the same way that the children were treated in their hands, you know, in their care that they should have been loving on and stuff, you know. And that's the new world order that's coming, and they ain't ready for it. They got this new pig out here that they're flaunting around with his red hair. You know, he's just a bloated dead thing, man, and like. They just keep shocking his ass alive with fucking crank and stupidity, you know? And until we realize that, we see that as being a reality, we're all going to suffer. We're going to continue to suffer. We're going to be closed off from God because that's what they're doing, you know? They're fucking with your frequency, man. And so that's why I'm here. That's why we're here. That's why I chose to be here. They can't penetrate my frequency. I'm toxic to the beast. The beast can't be around me. The beast can't have me around it. And that's how we are as the chosen. And that's a powerful individual to be. And that's a very blessed individual to be today. And that's who you are because, you know, or else you wouldn't be here with me. And so, anyhow, we're going to take a little look into the energies here today with Spirit, with Most High. And I'm going to throw a little coins on the table. We'll see what they say. And, you know, we all ask you, Most High, that you bring this message in with clear and concise information, you know, and that you talk you always talk with a clear tongue, you know. It's just that you give me the ability to interpret that properly and make sure it gets across clearly. Your truth is always evidence, and your truth is always the truth, you know. You put me through the fire as your chosen child. You show me that this world is filled with shadow, that this is a dark place, but you put the fire in my hands that does not burn, but enlightens the darkness, you know, and spreads strength and confidence and ability to those who are around us who have been weak in these times, man, because we've all been suffering, you know. And so today we ask you to protect us all from these low-lying piece of shit entities and spirits and devils and demons that are destroying your great creation and trying to take our spiritual connection with you away. You've hammered on me hard, man. You've put me in your forge. You've made me red hot. You made me white hot, you know. You beat on me with your hammer, and you pounded every impurity out of me now, and I'm strong, and my sword will never snap, and the edge is always strong, you know. And that's my tongue that you gave me, Lord, so please use it. And protect any individual that's listening in here or trying to also tap into these energies. Please also let them have this message received in their heart in a manner that is most pure and of the Most High. That's what it's about, you know. That's what it is about. Spirit, if I throw some coins on the table, they're gonna be anything. Yeah. See what you got, huh? Oh, what we got? You know, looks like a raven's hiding underneath the mushroom. So, we'll let the raven chill underneath the mushroom for a little bit. And then over here by the candle, I don't know, y'all can't see my coins, so you gotta trust me. But I have the, well, here, I'll show you the coins. Coming out by the globe here is karmic energies. It's the karmic ancestral energies of the past, you know. And it's the, oh no, this is my fantasy in the flesh coin coming out in the globe. Yes, that's exactly what I was just talking about. It's funny, that's how I opened up this read, man. It's heads, you win is what it says. But it's in the reverse too, you know. And it's on that coin, it's a naked woman on one side with her breasts, and on the other side it's the bottom, and you know, and it says tells you lose, right? And so this is heads you win, but it came out right directly on under the globe, right? And so the world is in this reverse honestly sexually deranged mindset, or it's like we're really in a crazy influence right now with these pedophile cults. I mean, it's the truth, man. Like I started out with it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, right? It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, beautiful day in the neighborhood. Won't you be mine? That guy, when I was a kid, whew, man, telling you right now, I had the creeps on that guy. He came on TV, and I remember being a kid. I felt bad for the kids that had to do the show with him because I thought he was such a creep, And his little puppets and shit, they just freaked me out all the time, man. They're just creeps, Never liked that shit. I hated it. The only thing worse than that was that Sesame Street. But see, I was a strange kid. I've always been an ancient soul, and so God's always showing me things that people didn't want to look at, But the other two coins that came, so I got the raven, right? So I got this raven in my thing because it's ravens are ravens, man. They're powerful beings, And but I gotta get it out. It's hiding underneath this mushroom. Oh, it's hiding. Look at this. This raven, it's up in there. I can't even hardly get it out of there. Here we go. So that's my raven token, right? And so, ravens, man, they can see everything if they want to, but if they're hiding underneath the mushroom, they're not going to see nothing, But there's something that they may not want to see, or they may not want to speak on because ravens also speak, And ravens are a very highly intelligent bird, The raven is my mother always has told me that the raven was my spirit animal. She's always giving me dumb, stupid trinkets and stuff like that I got around here, little dish towels and shit. But with ravens on them, she's always like, yeah, that's your spirit animal. How mothers are, parents are, they're intuitive, so they know some things that we don't, right? But the raven is they're also monogamous. There's not a lot of animals in the animal kingdom that are monogamous, but they have a life partners. And similar to the geese, the northern Canadian geese, they also are monogamous birds as well. They have life partners, And so side note, so I don't know. We don't know what this raven's hiding from, but another side note story. I was a pig farmer, down out here where I live in a different place. A long time ago now. It was like almost many lifetimes ago, it seems like. But at that time when I was feeding my pigs, I was getting waste food and stuff, from different sources like bread and stuff like that. And but I had built up a murder of ravens, or I guess it's a coven of ravens. It's a murder of crows. So a coven of ravens that were I had one time probably 600 of them or more. There's the most just black cloud. They'd come in, they'd feed, and they just soar all day long up above the ranch there. And that was a real powerful time in my life. I was making a lot of sacrifices. I was doing a lot of blood work. And for the righteous, for the suffering, and like one of the biggest raven influences in my life walked into my life at that time. It's been real pivotal for me. It's been real life changing. And so and that spirit, that energy is hiding right now. I think yes, because there's a lot of shadow work that's been done here, and like there's a lot of shadow work where the spirit energy, like maybe that my mom's always even talked about. It's like a dark energy that's always been with me. It's like not a dangerous energy, but a dark energy. And it's like a spiritual knowing of the darkness and a real deep knowing, and able to navigate in the darkness and flow in the darkness and move in the darkness. But it's been a possessive spirit as well. And so I think maybe a lot of that is with that spirit, that raven energy hiding underneath that mushroom, is telling me that that energy is something that has it's like with mushrooms even, that's a reishi mushroom, so it's not like it's a crazy psychedelic mushroom, but it's something that is easily overlooked or even looked down upon. A lot of people look at that mushroom and tell their children, don't touch it, it's poisonous, right? And not knowing any better when it's medicine, it's like fountain of life, I mean, look at me, I'm 4,000 years old, and it's reishi mushroom. And so like And that's just in this physical manifestation. I mean, I've been taking reishi for eternity, man. Maybe I came out as a reishi spore initially. Who knows, But but that energy of that darkness, that has always been on me, has been cause for people to treat me like a mushroom. And I've hidden in that. I've hidden in that image myself, even, and that's forced me into a deep isolation. That has really allowed me, though, to gain reverence to the light as well, So, so I think that energy is going through transition, of trying to learn how to use the medicine that it has within itself to be of a more attractive appearance to the others that are around them, so that they can see the light that's in them. They can see the healing abilities of the mushroom that they have become because of God's graces, where God has hidden wisdom in them, but they can show to people so that people aren't afraid of them, because people are often afraid of things like mushrooms, and that's how a lot of God's chosen are, that's how a lot of us are. And so the other coins here, this one is I got my no cash value coin, and I got my wounded warrior coin that came out there together, and then this one over here is my it's my earth angel energy, but in the feminine, it's the feminine earth angel energy, right? And it's kind of a little further over here by the moon, and the wounded warrior coin with that no cash value, it's kind of over here by the sun, And so that no cash value with the wounded warrior being by the sun is masculine energy that is feeling kind of a little bit like they don't know their own value. It's like they've been winged, and so they feel like they've been wounded and they've been damaged or whatever, and so they're no good anymore, because see this quarter right here sitting by the candle, that's the sun, right? That quarter's been shot. And it's a pretty beat up quarter already, but it's been shot. You see that? And so, but it didn't kill it, It just kind of winged it a little bit. Shot right in its throat. Look at that. That means it got shot in its throat chakra. That means it got shot. It can't talk. It doesn't feel like it can talk. That's a masculine energy. See, George Washington, he don't feel like he can talk, man. He feels like he don't have no more cash value, and that could easily represent our country right now, because that's what's happening. George Washington's been definitely shot in the throat, and so the people that have been out there, putting their faces on coins, like that's Caesar, like Caesar has been out in the light with the sun, has been out there in the light, like trying to be big, make big with him, with his stuff, with his shit, and we gotten to a point where it's like, yeah, we got to get back on to Caesar, but we got to get back on Caesar. What was Caesar's, man? And Caesar's not giving us anything kind, right? And so that game has changed, radically has changed, from the times when Jesus was here, because Jesus says, hey, yeah, give on to Caesar that which is Caesar's. And that's wisdom, and that he has, there's good wisdom in that belief, right? But the problem is right now is that Caesar's given us so much poison to give even back to Caesar what it is that Caesar's given onto us, would sully our reputation. It's like, I mean, we're not here for violence. We're this earth angel energy that's coming out in our dominant feminine energy near the moon. Like we're close to the moon. We're not sitting there by the sun trying to get burned. We're out here with the moon and that energy we're trying to emotionally and intuitively heal this stuff, within ourselves, because see, we understand that space itself is the waters, and so we're floating in the waters out here in our emotion, because it's not a void out there. It's like, it's the ocean. That's the waters. God divided the waters, man. And so she's out here trying to make sense out of everything by herself, and the divine masculine's over there with that no cash value coin, right? And so that means that there's some stuff going on with this wounded warrior energy in the masculine, where there's things going on their behalf that's not going to pan out, right? No cash value. And this raven over here, that raven is really coming out strong for me as the chosen ones. That's the divine pairings, the divine couples, the divine that coven of crows, man. You know, that's them ones that people have hard feelings about crows, and they don't even know why, or ravens, and they don't even know why. You know, people love ravens, and they don't even know why. People don't even know jack shit about ravens. You know, and like honestly, but people all got feelings about them. You know, it's like I'd say more feelings about raven than they do about damn bald eagle and stuff. You know. Really, and they should. Bald eagles are kind of dirt birds, man. Ravens are not. They're highly intelligent and resourceful, and the most intelligent bird in the. They say there's an argument between the crow and the raven, which one's the most intelligent. But they say that the raven is more intelligent than the crow because they both play games, but the game that the ravens play has an organized format. So there's rules to the games they play, and so that's what Most High is teaching us in that energy, right? Anyways, so I think we got a little bit out of the coins. I like throwing out the coins personally. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe somebody likes it too, you know. But Most High likes everything. As long as you just get out there and you do it, that's the thing. What they don't like is not doing it. What they don't like is too much time underneath that mushroom. You know, hide yourself. And that's what they've been telling me. They've been really on my ass about using my throat chakra, not being in that wounded warrior position with that, where that George Washington is right now. Because we need leaders now who can lead, you know. And leaders who can speak the truth. Because honestly, you know, that George Washington, he's in the same boat even as that Jesus Christ is, you know. Because everything that they have spoken, you know, has been amended, you know, over and over and over and over again. That's what they did with our everything, you know. And so what the original, you know, it's like a lawfare, it's like law war, you know. It's like lawfare or whatever. It's like it, and that's the whole point with the church, you know, because they do the same thing, you know. You don't even get all the books. You gotta read the Ethiopian Bible if you want to get it all. It's like 86 books in there or something, you know. And then not to mention like, since they've been in the printing press, you know, like when you go Google anything, you Google a Bible passage, you know, and there's like 50 different passages on each one of them that from the different versions of how the story is being told. And so, and each one of them is different, you know, they change it just a little bit, but just enough. I mean, you could put a the somewhere different or a they or a he, and it changes the whole story. You know, it's like they call it corn, right? And people are confused by that because they don't even understand their world history. And they don't know that the corn is like not maize, it's corn, which was like grain crops from the Middle East, you know, from Britain, honestly, from Europe, you know, because that's where they wrote the Bible that everybody reads, the King James version, you know. And then they have all these other ones out here, but people don't even realize that shit. They think, oh yeah, they're growing corn out there, big field of corn. Well, that changes the story radically. You know, and so that's that shot in Jesus' neck right there. You know, that's where they shot Jesus in the throat chakra when they nailed them iron in his hands. You know, because they shut him up. You know, because they muted him, they censored him, and they've abbreviated him, they've summarized him. You know, they did all their word magic on that shit, man. You know, they made it work to their purpose. And they've done it so long, they've convinced the masses that their story is the story. We don't know what the story is, you know? And so, same goes for George Washington, you know, because those guys, we have no idea what it was they taught about. You know, we have no idea. You know, y'all base your opinion of what them motherfuckers were up to because of something that you watched on TV or some shit they taught you in school. And that shit they taught you in school, shit. Yeah, it's like what chapter 12, Civil War, you know, and it's like 5 pages, and they have you a little like quiz in the middle, and then you do a test at the end. That ain't how it was, man. You know, you ain't learned jack shit. Trust me, you ain't learned jack shit. And even if you dig, you ain't learned jack shit because they wrote the story. Everybody's all hell bent on Armageddon right now, you know, same deal. That was a prophecy of one of the people that they hired, you know, they paid that person. Same with Nostradamus, they paid that person. It's not prophecy, that's predictive programming. Open your head up. Yeah, they could make it happen exactly how they wrote it to happen. It's a script. you know, and you can't believe anything from the past that's written down like that now because it's all been abbreviated, it's all been changed, it's all been summarized, it's all been written for their purpose. It's bullshit. It's just like the movies they make. You know, sure knows the Nostradamus knew everything that was going to happen in the future because that was their plan. Duh. And so here we are. We're in the midst of their plan coming to fruition. And if you ask me, it looks like their plan is a horrible plan. It's going to fail, you know? That's George Washington being shot in the throat. And so that individual may have had a righteous purpose, but he did it. He's a Mason. And so they made it so that it could be changed to the interest of the people who are the most powerful and the most rich, who only become more powerful and more rich because they're shooting all of us in the throat. And that's the truth. That's what's happening, people. Wake up. You know, get your heads out of your asses about the money and all this stupid shit. Wake up. Get your heads out of your asses about all this organized religion and all this stupid shit. Wake up. You know, as they kill you, they stuff their pockets, man. And their children's bellies get fat and bloated and their egos just get even worse. And it ain't gonna change until we change it. And the way we change it is we don't let them shoot our children in the throats. That's how we change it. We open our throat chakras back up and we let God heal that wound. Because when we use our tongue and we use our throat, it's a mighty sword in the name of God. That's how we change this world. Until you change within, this world will never change without. The world outside of you will never be different until you make the world inside of you God's kingdom. And that is the power you have. And that is a nuclear bomb against the beast. That's what makes you toxic to the beast. When you latch onto the beast and you suck its essence out of it, you transmute that into God's light and you make that beast wither. We need more numbers, though we're small. I've seen deer killed by a billion ticks. I've seen elk taken down by a billion ticks. I've seen a bull in the field die from worms. It took a lot of them, but it worked. We got to activate our throat chakras, folks. We got to get out here, no matter what it is, how it is. You know, this is where I'm at right now. And so I'm in an isolated place. I can't go out and march or do anything that is socially like that acceptable, I guess. That's why God has me isolated, you know. But they got me out here. I can still read energy and I can still have these conversations and I can still send out a very powerful bandwidth of energy, of divine energy to activate, motivate, and inspire, you know. And so that's what we're here for, man. That's our mission. We want to talk about this, dude. I love you. Good morning. Just random reading. Tell these guys how it is, man. You know me, man. What do you want to talk about today? I love you. I enjoy conversations with you. It's less complicated, man. People out here crazy. Talking, man. I really feel them all day long. Spirit. Holy Spirit. How you doing it, man? I know I guess you got it all figured out, right? What do you want to tell us? Holy Spirit's got 2 cups on the bottom of the deck. That's good. I think we're all seeking a little more of that energy. Holy Spirit says, so we got 10 Pentacles in the upright position. We got the 10 Cups, I'm sorry. And then the 9 of Pentacles in the upright position. The Knight of Pentacles in the reverse position. And the 10 of Swords in the reverse position. Our energy, the collective, the divine spirits, you know, the people that were in alignment with God right now are coming out in that 10 Cups energy because we are in alignment right now. You know, we found that balance within ourselves, and we've stepped out of the this 9 of Pentacles, this 9 of Pentacles in the reverse energy. You know, it would normally be a person that is codependent or like lacks self-reliance, right? And that is insecure probably, and doesn't really have to offer what they say they have to offer, what they want to appear to have to offer, but are really putting it out there, like they're the big shot, but they're not the 10 of Pentacles, like they are the 9 of Pentacles, and so there's something that they're lacking just a little bit. They're a big shot, or they used to be a big shot, and maybe in this reverse position, but they're not necessarily seeing their position and the fullest of its integrity, right? So it's like they're in the garden and they have a lot that is good, but they're not truly in control over that wealth, that abundance that they represent in the upright position, right? And so the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse is, again, that's an energy of an individual in the upright position. The Knight in reverse is the slowest energy in the deck, and so in the reverse, it's an energy that is, because like with the Knight of Pentacles, it's like in an upright position, it's reliable and it's steady and it's like it's steadfast, gets the job done, right? And it's an honest energy. It's an honest deal. They're coming in with a deal, and it's a good deal. It's not a deal that's flashy or expects a whole lot or whatever, And so in the reverse, that's an energy of basically that, like, there's just no deal, and or just stagnant. Like it's just or it's like the deal that they're offering you is not even really their coin, right? Kind of thing. So it's like an energy of like a person that is trying to deal and wheel and deal with other people's wealth, other people's energy, like that's why that Nine of Pentacles is in the reverse. But it's just creating stagnance, and there's no forward movement. There's no movement, it's keeping that, that is put that Nine of Pentacles in a position where they're going to start going backwards, like pretty quick. They're going to be out there working for somebody else instead of in a position where they feel like they're self-employed, or like whatever, and then maybe they'll go back to the sevens where they're even just trying to wait, and so because they're in the reverse, and so their stuff's starting to go pull backwards, and so but that Nine of Pentacles also in the reverse, that's kind of not a bad thing totally, because like that's an energy that is not going to be a fast moving energy in the reverse. It's going to go in the reverse, but it's not going to be like a Nine of Swords or like a Knight of Swords, like a Knight of Fire. It's gonna be one of those where it's gonna be a setback, but that setback isn't gonna bring an ending. See, because that's the Ten of Swords in the reverse, and so it's a slowdown that is given this Nine of Pentacles, this person that is standing in their wealth right there. It's given them an opportunity where they can assess how they got to where they're at and why they need to possibly slow things down a little bit to get there, but it doesn't mean we got to kill everything. It's not a Ten of Swords energy, And so that's that energy of these earth angels out here, That's why we're coming out in that ten of cups, because we're in that energy of really of just like floating in the waters, but not drowning, and that's good. What we got else? That's good. What talk about? What we got for everybody here? Ooh, man. Oh yeah. See, that's why this one here, it came out high, floating in the water. That's the Empress card, and so that's us. Like, this is a moment where it's like the financial aspects of our growth, like so the monetary things, the worldly affairs and everything. It's been just on a break, It's been set aside because we've been healing our emotional interior. We've been working in our feminine energies, and that's making us. It's making you very powerful. It's putting us in this energy of the Empress, which is the most powerful energy in the deck. And that's like I was saying, I often talk about us having to, embody, all those elements. Yeah, like we gotta be the king of all cards in the deck. We got to be the queen of all cards in the deck, and in order to be in that Empress energy, and so that means that you have mastery. Oh, you could take a break. We don't need to trip too hard, about our financial abundance and success, because as the Empress, to get to the Empress, you accept that God is going to bless you with that abundance, and you see that abundance where and how God blesses us with it, right? That's how we roll, man. And so that's why we have that ten of cups too, because the Empress also understands that her happiness doesn't come from her king, because she's the master of all the kings in her deck already, that's inside of her. And so that's a gift that God has given her, so that she sees that no matter where she goes, she's in a divine union already with Most High, because that's what that is right there, And so her number one connection is her connection with Most High and her divine union space of her internal forever, And when she finds that union and that strength with Most High, that's when she can be safe for and with her emperor, because those two individuals know that their love is always with Most High, first and foremost, because that's ultimately who and what they are, because that's the mirror image of them, that's what God created us for. And so they'll never be separate from Most High. When they have that understanding and that union within themselves, and they share that with each other, they always know, no matter what, they're home, And so they'll always go home. Even death, they won't separate. And that's our eternal life, That's our eternal existence. And that's something that's easily manipulated here on Earth against us, man. That's how they shoot us in that throat chakra, like that coin over there, They don't want us really talking on this shit a whole lot. They want you to believe that Christ died on the cross. That's oxymoron. I mean, that don't work that way. Life, Christ is the eternal being. He doesn't die. We don't die. Never die. He could die. He could kill me. It don't work that way. They can't take away my divine partner. They don't work that way. They can make us experience pain here. We can make ourselves experience pain here on this earth. But it's not going to change the fact that we are always of God. We're of that microbial network of the Most High. We're of the mycelium that the Most High is. That's how they communicate through us. And so we're connected always, eternally, It's one massive organism, man. And we know that because that's how we roll. Because we're this Empress right here, coming out of this 10 cups energy, who's really saying, I don't give a fuck about the money, man. Kind of. That's what she's saying. Fuck everybody. They can sit on their ass. They can wait. She's calling in endings, God calls judgment. The Empress just rules over the kingdom that God gives her after calling judgment. Those are my thoughts about that Empress. Most High. What do you think about the Empress, Spirit? You got any dirt on this Empress, man? She always good. She can be a bitch sometimes. This is a good Empress. This Empress is the upright, so it's gotta be a good Empress, right? Thank you, Spirit. Interesting. Okay, so this Empress is coming. There's a Queen of Cups in the reverse here. That's not that Empress's energy, though. It can't be, because that energy, I think, is probably some energy that, because this energy right here, it doesn't trust its intuition, and it could be a manipulative energy emotionally. It could be an energy that is just uses people emotionally, manipulates people emotionally. There's nothing in that cup. That cup's an evil cup, right? Kind of deal. In the reverse, in the upright position, the Queen of Cups is very intuitive, is very loving. It's water. And so it could be, it could mean that this Earth Angel out here in this feminine energy, this Empress, is in turbulent water right now. That there is some rough water around them, and so because you can see she's the Queen of Cups, and she got the ocean there by her, And so, them waters, they could be a little rough because in the reverse, that means that the water's rough, right? And so, that possibly could be why I see this Earth Angel, this Empress energy here, She's just floating, trying to protect her Ten of Cups, out here. She's following her intuition, she's not believing that she's got sea legs. Is what it is. And so there's some energies out here that are these swords right here, right? And the swords, they're wind, they're air. And so that's 10 swords right there, That's a lot of wind, that's a lot of air. And so I was blowing at the waters here at the foot of this queen. And then waters are getting a little stirred up, right? But what they're hoping is if it, like with these swords, is that they can stir them waters up so much that this queen out here, that this empress out here, that her floating out here because she's in the waters, right? Is her ship sinks, But she's in the Ten of Cups over here, the upright position, and coming out as this Nine of Pentacles in the reverse. She's managing her waters. She's in her emotion. She's in her cups, right? And so she's like, nah, man, right now. It's not safe for sure either, like that's that Nine of Pentacles in the reverse. She's like, nope, I'm gonna stay in these waters a little bit, even if they're rough. I'm gonna stick with my intuition. I'm gonna follow through on this, and I'm gonna make sure I don't capsize. That's why this air that's coming in hard blowing on her, it's not gonna capsize her ship, man. That's why it's not coming. It's not coming that way, right? And she's taking her time. She don't care right now. She's got a lot of confidence in God Most High. You know what? That one wasn't on the Empress either. That was next to the Empress. Okay, that makes more sense, right? And then next we have Six Pentacles in reverse. That's a lack of balance, That's lack of equal give and take. It's it's beggars. It could be begging. It's looking for a handout. Or in the reverse. It's like what you're being given that people are offering you charity. Right? Or they're making it seem there's a sense of that without them you can't survive, and that you need their charity, that you need what they're giving to you, and that they're doing this because they're compassionate. They're doing it from a compassionate place, right? But in the reverse, that would be true. That would be true in the upright. It would be that way more so. Yes, and what you would be, But even in the upright, that person has a scale in the one hand, and the other people are on their knees, and so that's still an uppity vibe. It's not like a fair. It's not like an equal give and take, And so in the reverse. It's kind of like them scales are turning, they're flipping, because the person that is wearing the nice little outfit here, right, and they're giving out whatever it is they're giving out, they got their scale, whatever. We don't know. We don't know whether there's coin being exchanged, but I think there is. If you look at it, right, it's not charity. It's niggling. Really, it's what it is. Like this person's charging too much for their product, right? They're not offering anything. They're charging for something that's not goods. It's not even, it's not, it's like this. If you look at it, it's like a drug dealer, because if you look at those people on their hands and knees, those are the people that we got out here right now that everybody's looking down on, they're struggling, a lot of them just got mental health issues. They're not even drug addicts. And so these people right here could just be mentally unwell, they could be suffering, they could be sick, unwell, they got other issues. Doesn't mean they're weak. They could be very powerful, but they could have somebody's boot on their neck. And the boot that's on their neck could be the individual that's holding that scales, most likely, right? In the reverse, in the upright. But this one came out in the reverse after this Queen of Cups in the reverse, which tells me that these people that they think they're wearing slippers, and they think they got their boot on your neck, but they're wearing slippers, and they don't understand what that means. They don't know what it is to live in the streets. You know, they never have, and so even though they have abundance and like people who have been broken and shit by the streets and stuff, you know. Um, they sometimes you get broken a little bit, and it's not that you're lazy or you're weak or you're not powerful or anything like that. It's just that you're broken by the streets, man. And so somebody could come along with slippers on their feet, right, and soft toes, and then they could stand there on your neck, right, and make you take what they're trying to give you because they think they're more powerful than you, but they don't realize is that them slippers are soft, you know, and you can break every single toe in their foot with just a thought, you know, because that's the power that Most High gives you, you know. And so like they just don't understand, you know, is that you would never do that because just because the only reason that you're in that position where they could act like they're being charitable to you is because you don't want to take from nobody, man. And what they have is stuff that they've taken from others, and they're trying to feed that toxic shit to you like it's good. Mm-hmm. Me too. Us, you know, we don't fuck with that shit. We don't. I shouldn't say you know, we don't fuck with that shit. We ain't like that. We ain't never been like that. Ever, man. Never. We're those motherfuckers that we're like them acorns on a mousetrap. You know, I talked about that one time. Learned that trick from a raven. See, ravens know lots of stuff, right? Raven's the one that put the rocks in the vase to get the water to rise up there so they can have a drink. See, they're smart. They're that Knight of Pentacles in the upright position. You know, that's a slow go. It's one rock at a time. That's the Knight of Pentacles, right? But they see their goal. They know what their end game is. And they got the job done. They got a drink of water, man. When they get that drink of water, they're going to fly home. That's what happens. That's what happens. Crow ain't built for the sea. Or raven ain't built for the sea, you know. Hype the Empress. She is. She's an admiral of the sea. Many fleets, you know. That's the Empress. Seriously, though. I mean, if you're not an admiral of many fleets, how could you call yourself an Empress at all, right? That's what I think. All right, so we got the bottom of the deck, the Six of Cups. Six of Cups here says, to me, you know, they see your healing as weakness. King of Wands in the upright position. See, we got this Empress here is looking this direction over here, right, at these people right here. This group, this what do we call that? Honestly, you know, it's a it's a crooked non-profit organization. Is really what Spirit's telling me. You know, it's robbing Peter to pay Paul, but doing it with the disguise on so that you're making your pockets fat. You know, it's what's going on right now. You know, a lot of it's getting exposed or whatever. You know, it's all a scam. But the government's a scam in the first place, you know. So it's not like these people are really horrible people. I mean, it's affecting everybody on a big scale, but everybody also has been benefiting from it too, you know, because we're doing it on a global scale, and so it's like our whole country is based on these schemes, you know, and so it's every single one of us is guilty, right? And so we're all coming out in that Queen of Cups. That's that Queen of Cups energy. Is the energy that has been manipulating these systems, you know, like with this financial system, these financial gains, and it's like this broadening gap between the rich and poor, you know, and like the really sick mentality of Babylon, you know, and definitely, you know, that this is Babylon, and that's the Queen of Babylon, right? And so this Empress, she's over here, you know, she's sitting in the upright position on her throne, Whereas this Queen of Cups is in the reverse, looking over here at these, this, exactly what I said it was, And then we got the King of Wands that's sitting over here and staring at this situation, but from the opposite direction. So the Queen of Wands or the Empress in the upright position and the Queen of Cups in the reverse are looking to my right, which is to the west. And the King of Wands is in this energy looking to the east at that same nonprofit organization, essentially, and so there's some fiery energy. Look at it, some shadiness that's going on financially, and so it's a matter of it's a broken system, it's broken within, and so it's got so many flaws that's within that it feels that it's in a power position. It's cloaked in its prosperity, right? But it doesn't have nothing to offer. The scheme is up, right? Like they can't keep running the scam because it's broken within, and so that energy out of the east, that's fiery energy, and that's looking east. It's looking east, it's got its back on the west, and so I think that really speaks a lot about what's going on globally. I think that's a little that's kind of the affairs today right now that's happening. It's like that explains our financial struggles. And it's been we've all been really manipulated into this situation, right? And a few of us, the chosen ones, like this Empress here, we're out. We're really separate away from it. We know that this was coming. We see that this was coming. We've always known it wasn't an equal give and take. We always known that the exchange was we were coming up short. We've always known that, and we've always been saying that. And a few have listened to us, but that's what it is. And like I was talking about prophecy with the Nostradamus, or with like the Armageddon and everything. This is a written, this is a manipulation of our emotions. It's a manipulation of our family units, of our ability to intuitively work together. Of our channeling skills, of our ESP connections. And so like we're no longer connected with each other in a way that we control the narrative of the massive, because they've divided us with, they've conquered us emotionally by isolating us into our own little chambers, our own little micro bubbles where we don't exchange spiritual frequencies with each other anymore, And that's why the Empress here really feels like they're out on these rough seas, because it's really hard to get in touch with anybody nowadays, And that gap just keeps getting wider and wider and wider. It's like everybody's been shot in the throat, like that coin over there. And nobody talks about jack shit. What do you think about that, Spirit? Why can't they take this Empress down with this shit, Unless she always comes out with these swords, they don't mean nothing to her. So the Empress, the Spirit says every time they throw these swords at the Empress, because she has that Ten of Cups already with the Most High, and she's not a violent practitioner, She don't throw wands and swords and shit like that, And so she does it for the good, She always tries to answer that to the world and everything with this Knight of Cups energy, Instead of letting the situation end, she's like, hey, that's okay. We'll start over again. Like we can start over again. And that's what Spirit's telling all of us right now, globally. We can start over again, We don't have to keep pushing to this end, It's like they've written an end for us all, and it has to be that way. They don't want to change the script, But it doesn't have to be that way. It's a choose your own adventure novel. You know, you can always choose that make that right choice that opens it up to where there could be a new beginning. You know, there could be a message of happiness and love. You know, it doesn't have to be about yeah, see, no, see, high priestess. Yeah, man. See that Empress? They'll never shut me up. Never. Never. I don't need a voice. I don't need a voice. Cut my throat. Shoot me in the throat if you want. Y'all kicked me in the throat many times. You kicked me in the fucking head. You knocked my teeth out. You're taking my children. You'll never shut me up. You'll never stop me. I'm untouchable. I might be the only one out here who is, but I'm untouchable. Back to what we were talking about. She knows everything. Everything. And she's not in these waters alone. You know? Never. Not at all. Never. Never. It's just that the blind can't see the ships of God that surround them. And nor can the deaf hear the songs of angels. But they damn good well are going to feel their battle cry. You are going to feel their battle cry. And you know who I'm talking to. And you are not we. Spirit. Why you gotta be so heavy, man? Shit. So what the hell? Why would this Queen of Cups want to blow air on the water, man? I mean, she's sitting right at the foot of it. Don't you think she's gonna drown, Spirit? Huh? Playing games like that? If you got crooked deals going on and you're using the poor to make yourself fat, why would you blow air after this one? Why would you blow air? Why would you blow air on waters that this high priestess, this empress right here that has Armageddon-sized fleet amongst them? Because they're the one that's admiral, you know? Why would you blow air on that water, huh? Oh, you're gonna bring an ending? Shit. Nah, man. That's death in the reverse, you know, on top of that Queen of Cups in the reverse. That person doesn't even know how to die themselves. You know, you gotta let go of shit. You gotta let go of shit in order for new shit to come in, man. You gotta know when to roll, you know. Sometimes it's just what it is, you know. It's about having the strength within yourself to never see death as an ending, you know, because there's no such thing as death. It's not real, you know. Nothing dies. It only rejuvenates, you know. It only recycles, you know. And you can't be afraid of that cycle. Everything's about cycle, you know. And like that's just what it is, you know. So this individual, they could be having problems with their cycles, you know. They'd be coming out of their cycles, you know. The moon might not be talking to them the way the moon used to talk to them, you know. And that might be causing them some grief or whatever. But that might be a personal thing outside of this reading. What we got here, Spirit? Why are these people over here trying to act like they something they ain't? Trying to end cycles over here for this bad motherfucking whole ass bitch. I'm scared of this Empress. As reader. Yeah, man. I'm like, ooh, I don't want her fucking with me, man. I'll make sure I handle that energy properly, you know. That's a gift. Yeah. Yeah, these people realize they're petty, you know. They're realizing that their plans is shit, you know. They ain't got 10 swords to throw anyways. They're over here going, fuck shit, man. They threw all 10 swords they have. And now they're just some page over here. They're standing there going, well, shit, man, I don't even know where the knight's at to protect my ass anymore, man. They sent their knight out. That knight went out and got its ass whooped already by this high priestess, and this empress over here, man. I don't know. I don't know, old Alex Jones, that dumbass, man, that ape. He's doing this thing with Roseanne Barr, who's another ape, Pomp Teen Power. They're pushing their hands out there like that with sparks flying off their fingers and shit. And it's funny watching the buffoons, but that's this empress. Yep, that's what they're talking about. He's trying to sell his dumb product and Smurf fucking dye shit. It's industrial dye with power. Nah, man, no, bro, you got it wrong. This bitch right here, that's fucking power right there, man. When the empress comes out with the high priestess, you sit down and you shut the fuck up. That's what you do. You really do, I'm just telling you. It's funny, Why is this King of Wands over here? Okay, so, this King of Wands is coming out. I think that this King of Wands is coming out as the masculine energy of this Empress over here, And, I think it's her masculine energy. It's hers. It's her, so it's her. But she's looking from the other side of this whole deal, because she's looking at this situation in both her feminine, but also in her masculine, But it's looking at it because she's really powerful in her feminine, She really is. She doesn't deal with death. She reincarnates. Death is her bitch. Seriously, death is her bitch. She tells death what to do, and death says, yes, ma'am, She doesn't even really tell death what to do. She has a carrier. She sends this page of swords or some little thing over and tells death what to do, That's this energy. She's bad. Got bad. Her and got her homies. Bad. And so, when God gets married, fucking this bitch right here is gonna be bridegroom, right there, best homies, that kind of stuff. And so her masculine over here, energy that she has, so is fire, the masculine in her is real fire, she's hot-headed, she's ambitious, she's real, she's the boss, when she looks at shit, when she sees shit, she has that stick in her hands, and she wants to go out and burn everything down if it ain't working right, kind of, She's got her wand over here, and she's not really, she's feminine, man. She wants to fix things emotionally, and intuitively, and she sees the problems and everything, but she's not as action oriented as he is, which inside of herself, right? And so her internal masculine is torn because he's pissed, he don't like at all what's fucking going on. He sees it, and she's in this 10 of Cups energy, trying to heal the situation and not really worried about her coin, but her masculine energy is ready to burn the house down because the motherfucker wants to heal, That's just what it is, right? And that's good because we all need that internal healing, That's what we're all trying to seek, It's we need to see all the bullshit that's going on around us from both of our feminine and our masculine energies, and if our masculine energy can heal, because a lot of us have really unhealed masculine energy, there's been a lot of focus on the feminine energy, and it's because they're controlling the feminine energy the same way they did with the masculine energy. They manipulated the masculine energy into the powerful father, figure and all that, like they had, 100 years ago, or whatever, 75 years ago, and then they changed that shit and they made us all worthless, Homer Simpson's, right, Al Bundy or whatever the fucking goddamn Married with Children. And so they've really destroyed the masculine, but they built up the feminine, right? But now they're weaponizing the feminine the same way they did the masculine when they destroyed the masculine, and they're destroying our family unit by doing so. They ping pong it back and forth, same way they do with the Democrat and the Republican Party. They're destroying our nation. We should have one party, you know. If we're gonna have a nation, we got to be one nation under overall. I mean, we got to be under God, you know. And that's the only party that should matter. It's the only party that does matter. It's the only thing that does matter. I mean, figure it out. We're all that already. You know, that is what we are. And when we figure that out, we start communicating again like the mushrooms do. Where this raven's hiding. You know, they're hiding underneath them damn mushrooms. They know the truth. You know, Spirit's saying, hey, get the fuck out from underneath the mushroom. Get out there and teach the truth. You know it. We taught you. We taught you. We gave you the resources that you have, that you need to do that, to be that example. So go be it. Go do it, you know? And so, right? Yeah, that's good, Reed. I don't even know if I put the camera on. I should check. Oh, yeah. Now, yeah, we're good. Hey, we're good. How long are we? Oh, we're getting in there. Oh, we'll keep going. We're not done yet. Anyhow, and so, and that could be what that raven is underneath that mushroom over there is thinking about a lot, and they might be in a position to bring that cup in, you know. This Empress, she's already got her 10 of cups, you know, and so, you know, she sees the offer and appreciates it, but she's a high priestess. She's very intuitive, and so there can't be no bullshit with that cup coming in, where that cup's coming from, you know, because she's not really in a position where she don't need to handle a whole lot more cups. She's very emotionally fulfilled right now in her connection, her divine connection with God. That's why she's the emperor, the high priestess, you know, and so the thing is that right now, she's focused, you know, like with her masculine energy over here, really kind of feeling the fucking pinch that, you know, the masculine energy of this Empress feels that she's getting fucked. That's what he feels, you know? And so that's her internal struggle, because she's trying to be in the energy that is seeing things more different, you know, and that 10 of Cups energy. And that's great, you know, and she's not going to sacrifice that, you know, and that's where she's trying to switch her gears and listen to her masculine a little bit more, you know, and that's requiring a lot of healing, you know, because her masculine energy has been damaged. You know, it was damaged, obviously, you know, at one time or another, but through childhood, you know, there needs to be some healing from childhood trauma, you know, and Most High is working on that. That this card here is this bigger spirit, you know, is Most High, or it's a more mature energy. It's a more mature spirit that is trying to offer some emotional healing, you know, and some flowers to individual that is trying to learn too, you know. And so it's somebody who knows a little bit more, but so they're a little bit more grown up, you know, or whatever. They're a little bit bigger, right? And I see that could be friends, you know, whatever too, you know. That could be spiritual awakening, it could be a lot of things, but it's healing, you know, and it's protected by Most High. That's what that guard is in the very back of that card. If you look, there's a guard back there by that building, because that's Most High protecting that healing, you know. And so that's why it's taken a little bit of time. But that time that it's been taken, where this high priestess Empress has been out here floating around the moon energy in the waters, you know, it's put her in a position where her stability has been put a little bit upside down. Like she's been like, okay, well, she's had to really regroup, right? But she's not losing any more coins, you know, because this coin over here, this 6 of coins, it's not being taken away from her, because it was never really given to her, you know. It's only given by God. She knows that. That's why she's the high priestess, and so she always has. And that's just truth, and that is why she's going to remain in that 10 of Cups, because her union is with the divine, you know, and it's she's, you know, that's where she's at right now, and it's if that requires abstaining from like other unions outside of herself, you know, then she has to just be in her union with her divine masculine, and really sort through that healing, you know. And that's a beautiful thing, you know. Oh yeah, see, that's Sun card, and so that's a beautiful thing, and that's something that she knows that's how you work in the light, you know. About this high priestess food, you know, the high priestess, that's badass bitch, right? What else does High Priestess have to say to him? Yep, look at that. Oh man, look at this. I don't even know. You really can't make it up. But yeah, if you know, you know. That emperor, of course, is that High Priestess is emperor, you know. It's that Empress is emperor. And they are not the same people. These two are not the same people. This Empress and this King of Wands, that's the same person. They this Emperor and this King of Pentacles in the reverse, that's also the same person. Not the same person as the Empress. This is one person, and this is one person, right here, right? And so that Empress and that High Priestess energy is the energy, feminine energy of a divine being whose masculine energy is fire. And so in their chart, you're going to find that they got water. There's some water in there, and there's some a lot of fire in there too, you know, and the different placements in their chart, you know. And there's earth, but their earth is being questioned, and so they're getting a lot of challenges in the aspects of their chart that have earth in them. That's why they're coming out like that. This emperor is the counterpart of this empress, and so you got to take into account with tarot that most often the sexes are reversed. And so sure, that's the emperor on the card here, but it's also probably not a man. It's not uncommon, you know. Same goes for this empress, you know, this high priestess. It's energies that we embody and that we encompass inside ourselves, you know, and in different aspects of our chart and how they play out and how they rule our lives. That's according to the stars. That's God. You know, you can't change that. That's why the cards work. That's how it functions. That's the mechanics, right? And so this emperor is also got a lot of fire, you know. They're fiery, you know. And so there's a lot of aspects of their chart that are in the upright position, that are coming out in the upright position, you know. And so they're a passionate match, masculine in their masculine energy to this empress because of that fire, because the empress's masculine energy is also fire. You know, they're fiery. Like, and so they really see eye to eye on their passions. They're passionate. You know, there's a passionate connection. That's why they're coming out as this this set up like this, you know. But in the masculine energy, in the feminine energy of this emperor, they're coming out as the King of Pentacles in the reverse, you know. And so the feminine energy of this masculine this emperor is coming out a little lazy, whereas the feminine energy of this King of Wands, who's the masculine energy of this empress, you know, is coming out highly intuitive and very, very emotional, you know, and like knowing, you know. It's like, so she's very aware of like the effort that it takes to maintain a feminine and strong like emotional connection with an individual, you know, that it's not always just about the passion, you know. So it's not always just about the wand, you know. It's like that it's also about like having emotional balance and everything working well together to maintain security. It's like an imbalance This is a really a classic example of like an imbalance of the male and female dynamic, within a relationship, and within a society. It's like a real sick misunderstanding. It's like of this would be a woman's masculine, a woman having her feminine energy, seeing it where like she's because she's a woman, she doesn't have to do certain things, or because and then and then seeing the man that's in their feminine energy as because he's a man, his emotional intuitiveness and his emotion doesn't really matter because he don't care about that. You know what I'm saying? And so she's it's like a girl, a woman would be saying like, well, I don't have to care about making money because that's what men do, and like so I don't have to worry about the family stability because that's what the man does, and then being like, so I'm just gonna be, and then seeing the man as like, well, of course you don't care about my emotions because he's a man, they don't have any emotions, but it's like, well, yeah, he's a man, but he's got a lot of emotions because he's coming out in high priestess energy with as the empress in this 10 of cups energy with the most high. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And so that's why that looks like that, but see, that's where this deal here in the middle, it's like there's a mess that's being made. There's manipulation and stuff, There's outside influences that are trying to bring a death to this situation, or have created. Yeah, I mean, it's broken families, Like they're trying to destroy our family units. They're trying to destroy our love with this psyop, Like this is the wounded warrior coin over here, because this is where they're shooting us in the throats. Like we're not communicating about this stuff. This self-expression, of like what we are internally, and then giving reverence to that. And so it's like, instead of really knowing ourselves as our powerful divine influence in this transit, and seeing that in each other and knowing how to move like that, it's like, so we're in a world where they're using manipulation of our emotions and stuff, where they're getting like women to kind of see men. They don't understand the whole, like we don't understand the concept, It's kind of like to be a divine feminine, you gotta be gay or transgender, And it's like, well, no, that's crazy, It's not like that. It's in spirit, And so they're manipulating our spirits so that we're thinking in these ways of like where we're not stable. Like a woman doesn't put standards on themselves that make sense, that's equal to the standards that men are required to put on themselves, and we don't put the same requirements on each other. And that's the thing, It's like we all put these different requirements on ourselves, and everybody's on this little bubble where nobody's working well together, and we're not connecting. There's like a division. It's like we're gold, right? But we're in this colloidal solution to where the ions coming off from us pushes everything away from us, and we can't connect, and become a mass. We can't become a massive and a nugget, and we need to be a nugget because we're God's golden precious power, We're God's golden energy. We're God's golden orbs, But when we're in that colloidal solution, we can't become that, We're not even seen. You would not even know that we were there unless you put a laser through us, And that's what's happening right now. And so everybody's in this divided state, this division, because of these ways of thinking, that we got to see through those ways of thinking and realize that when we work together, then we become the empress, the high priestess, the king of wands, the emperor, and the king of pentacles in the upright position with that 10 of cups, with God Most High, and the 9 of pentacles in the upright position again, And that's why they can't end any cycles, because we're learning this shit, We're taking our fucking time, and we're listening to Most High. We're talking to Most High. We're saying our prayers, and they're healing us. And we're working for this, And it doesn't matter if the healing has to come from somebody who's already been through the shit. If they're trying to heal you before you got to go through the shit, man, listen to that motherfucker. I'm telling you. Some people may not be everybody's perfect penny, And that might be why they got to be out sitting in the waters out here, by themselves. But their ship is never going to be sinking. You can't capsize the Empress's boat, man. You can't capsize the Empress's boat when she's sitting on that boat with the the high priestess in the fire of that King of Wands, man. No fucking way. There's just no way. Them 10 of Cups is how Jesus walked on the water. And that's the truth. See? Bottom of the deck, man. And that queen right there, she cuts all the bullshit out. And that's just that. And this page over here, you know, she already sent the page. She already sent the page to tell them people and tell everybody, quit fucking around, man. So, you know, she's telling them right now because she's like, hey, I sent my page to everybody, quit fucking around, right? And so now I'm gonna let this King of Wands loose, man. And he's gonna burn that shit to the motherfucking ground, you know? You can take that fucking wand and start a big fire. Why death in here reverse, Spirit? Why can't they end these cycles? Why would they want to end these cycles, Spirit? I mean, come on, man. Isn't that fucking kind of crazy? Shit. I think it's pretty crazy. Okay, we got... Yeah, see, that Queen of Wands came out, man. She came out with that Queen of Swords, see? She's going to stay in the deck. And she's got the... with that Five of Wands right there. Which means that she's not going to play no fucking games, man. And then it came with the Seven of Cups and Lovers in reverse, you know. Yeah, no, she ain't going to play no fucking games, man. You know. She don't want options. She wants to cut through the bullshit. The end story, man. She knows that with that Five of Wands, right? Because she's coming out with that Five of Wands. And so that Five of Wands is that's just squabbling, man. That's stupid shit. You know, it's not really even fighting. You know, it's playing games. It's just playing games. It's people playing games, man. Playing games. You know, and she is not having it. She's saying, "Nah, I'm coming out here." She said, "I already see." Look, she got her hand up like this. Like she's all having that hand up. She got her sword up. And then this little Page of Wands is over here. And honestly, I think, you know, she sent that Page of Wands, or she used to know that Page of Wands, or that Page of Wands is her opposing energy of her higher thinking, because she wanted that Page of Wands to figure that shit out and put it into this shit. Put it into this unfair dealings, you know, whatever the hell they are, whatever this deal is that's real messy, that her energy, because this energy right here is the same as that Empress right there, you know, and she knows how to use that energy really well. She knows how to use all energies in the deck, right? And so this Page of Swords is a really young energy that she's like holding her hand up. She's like, come on, man. She's got a sword in one hand. She's holding her hand up. She's like, you know, up here to this page, right? And the page is kind of coming back with the little cocky look. She got her sword. She's like, come after that queen, you know. And so, but that queen, she's not really getting fierce with her sword. She's just making it clear, like, hey, man, I'm not after you, you know. She's like, I love you, kind of like, she's like, I want you to understand this. I sent you out here so that you can understand this, you know. Like I need you to understand this, not be offended by the fact that I'm trying to show you this wisdom and open your eyes up to this. But because you're learning, you know. Don't defend the thing that is taking advantage of you, you know. She's trying to teach the Page of Swords here how to get out of this Five of Wands energy and avoid these cycles that they're trying to end for them, you know, because they you can see their young energy, you know, and so they don't understand that, like, you can't just always come in blazing hot when you don't know how to use a sword, you know, and you gotta know choose your battles wisely, you know. It's like why the queen, you know, the Page of Swords is in a real action stance, you know, where the queen's not, because she's not trying to go to war like that, you know. She's trying to have a conversation, you know, and not a conversation that is squabbling, you know. She doesn't want to argue about it, you know. She wants to really make the air clear that, like, this manipulative emotional energy that's surrounding these two is gonna bring endings, but not for them, you know. And that's making that Page of Swords feel very defensive, because they're connected with this group, this organization. It's unfair dealings over here, you know. And so they're trying to defend something that they know they don't really See, they're not even really on solid ground, you know, because they kind of look, those waters behind them. That's them waters I was talking about that are raising up. See the waves back there, and they're standing right on them dunes, you know. But dunes are soft soil, man. And when the water comes up too strong, if they keep swinging that sword, because that sword is air, right? It's gonna blow them waves up, and that's gonna erode that dune. They're gonna collapse. And that's what that queen's like. Hey, come on, man. You know, there's solid ground over here with me. Because see, look, see the queen here? She's on the mountaintop. That's just a river behind her. So she's on rock, right? So she knows she's on solid ground, man. She's not even to have to really defend what is it she's standing on. As a gesture of love, she's saying, I'll defend you. And that also came out with the Seven of Cups in the reverse, and the two of the lovers in reverse, you know. And she's saying the queen is saying that no, there's no other option here. Like basically, you know, like that queen is on that mountain that they want to die on, you know. That's what that is, you know. That queen's like, no, that's what it is. I'm not pursuing a different path, you know. And they want the Page of Swords to be a part of that path. See, got that Ace of Swords, and it came out sideways. But I don't really read cards sideways. I think if they come out upright, they come out upright. They come out upside down. They come out upside down. And so Page of Swords right there. That's Excalibur. And Excalibur cuts through the bullshit, man. And so this page over here, this page knows the truth, you know. Yeah. They know that the connection between them and the queen over here is, because see this page right here? This is the energy that is keeping this King of Pentacles upside down. And they know this. So this individual here is one person. This is energies in their chart, you know. The air in their chart is causing the earth in their chart to be upside down. And that's devaluing their fire and making them make bad decisions around their passions. And so the Empress is the same energy as this High Priestess and this Queen here, you know. And so she's speaking truth, and she ain't fucking around, you know. And God has her back. That's why the Ace of Swords comes out here with the two of Cups. You see? And it's in the upright, you know, because the Empress over here is got 10 cups, and then but two of these cups right here are right here. This is her heart, you know. That's the truth. That's what God knows. That's the truth that she's fighting for, you know. And God knows that, and God's showing that to the page here. But look here. You see above this page? If you look here, them the ravens. Right there. This little murder of them ravens, man. It's probably them ravens that was over my pig field, baby. My pig pen, man. You know, my pig pen was down right on the ocean too, right on the dunes. This Page of Swords energy found me there. And that's just personal insight, yeah. It's interesting. But the queen here, you know, the queen, see, that's past energy, but that's for me, the reader, you know. But I climbed the mountain, you know. If you know, you know, right? If you know, you know, and we're very connected, and that's awesome. That's a beautiful thing, you know. Whoever you are, might be, you know, that's a personal message to whoever it might be, here in the physical or wherever, in the spiritual realm and everywhere, you know. But that's how we speak with each other, you know. That's how we know each other. really well and deeply, you know. And I love you for that. Thank you, you know. And what it is, man. Divine connections, divine connection, you know, and it could be galaxies between us, you know. That's how our connection is with Most High. And through that connection with Most High, we share that dynamic connection with each other. And then the more of us that discover that and find that way to let down those barriers that keep us in that colloidal solution, that bigger that nugget gets, man. And we all can feed on that nugget, you know. You gotta be vampires. Yep. So like the reason that the force words, the reason that this King of Wands right here is feeling a little hot headed, you know. Kind of stirred up the waters with this Queen of Cups in the reverse, is because there's been a lot going on, but the people have been sleeping on it, you know. And so it's like, and again, this is a sword that's air, and so it's like we got people here that are like throwing swords, you know, stirring up the water, hiding. That's what that is, you know. And they're saving this one sword here that's like the sword, that's that sword of truth, you see. They're sleeping on the sword of truth. And they, while they're sitting here just throwing out them other swords like that, carelessly, and without caution, like they don't care about them, you know, and they're just praying that it works, right? But they're not trusting the Most High. That's why they're throwing swords, you know. And so the sword they're sleeping on, though, is that sword of truth. That's Excalibur, you know. That's this sword right here. That's regarding so that they're keeping secrets from their divine union emotionally. They're keeping secrets from their feminine, their masculine energy. So within themselves, you know, that's why that individual is this page right here that doesn't want to see the truth, you know, but that truth that they need to see, it lies within themselves, and that's what's causing the separation between their energies. It's causing their feminine energy to come out very masculine, and it's causing their to come out very masculine but toxic, you know. So it's causing their feminine energy to come out as a toxic masculine energy. And they're keeping secrets. They're not listening to Most High. They're sleeping on it. They got other people out there fighting their war, stirring up that water, you know? That Queen of Cups. Spirit, why is this Knight of Cups coming out here? Why I got this Knight of Cups here, Spirit? There you go. Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune in the upright position. So... being that that's in the upright position, and we have the Queen of Cups up here in the Death in the reverse, right? That tells me that that the wheel's turning, so karma's changing, you know, and that's why this Empress is in this Ten of Cups position here as well, you know, because the world's changing with this where they've been holding back this Empress, you know. Now people are starting to see that this Empress right here, you can't end cycles for this Empress. You can't, you know, like she doesn't do that. We don't do that, you know. We don't play that game. We're not that way. We're fucking Empress with High Priestess energy and Ten of Cups and all this good shit going on, right? No matter what, we can see there's a lot of shit kind of thrown at us a little bit, but we see it all as kind of child's play, right? Because we're no better. We've climbed the mountain, you know. We're not the ones on soft and unfragile ground, you know. But fortunately, you know, one thing I want to say is that this King of Pentacles in reverse coming out with that Page of Swords energy right here, they're protected. That's why the ravens are up there flying above them, man. That's their spirit team, you know. They're protected. So they're protected by them same spirits that protected me. that soul family. That's why that Wheel of Fortune is going to be a fortunate Wheel of Fortune. And it's going to open up them throat chakras that have been shot through. And we're going to start coming from a place that's more love, and not in this Page of Swords energy. And as you can see, it's like all this good stuff that's coming out, that continues to come out with the stability that this Empress is offering, It's really just burying this organization, this group, or this unfairness that's being done over here. It's just getting kind of so buried underneath the goodness, it's going to be forgotten about, And that's the way we do this shit. That's how you put the past behind you. That's how we grow up, And that's a beautiful thing. That's why we're so powerful, How's this going to go here for this King of Pentacles, It's a beautiful individual, Basically, you turn that one card up in that upright position, Spirit. And then, man, it's like in go time, right? Yes, this King of Pentacles in reverse is just gotta spend a little time thinking about this shit, They got the light in their hands, they got the wisdom they need, they got their staff, they got everything they need. They're standing on a high mountain too, See? But there's snow on that mountain. But it's springtime now, we're getting ready to step off from that mountain to where there's the greenery and there's everything. See, look, this little break, That's why this Nine of Pentacles right here has been coming in upside down with this Nine of Pentacles in the reverse, right? And then on top of this Queen's, or this Empress's Ten of Cups. And so this individual had to take a little break, they had to step back from their abundance, But the abundance that they have isn't in this alone time so much. That's always good to go into your hermitage, But you see, look, that mountains, there's nothing on them. They're bare. They're barren, you see? And with this Nine of Pentacles, them fields are not barren at all. They got all kinds of stuff going on. She's got that bird in her head, everything, That's a little guy bird, right? If you know, you know. And so when she steps off that mountain, then she steps out of that hermit mode, right? And starts to take a look. Because when we step into our hermit mode like that, it gives us an opportunity to really take a look at everything from that inside that, the hermit, that lantern that the hermit has in his hand. That lantern doesn't shine light on the exterior world around us, so it doesn't illuminate the experience of other people. It doesn't illuminate those around us. It illuminates that space that's within us, And so it makes light through the passages of your internal dwelling, of your holy space, of your temple, and it helps you to get familiar with the altar that you are, And it guides you through that cavernous space. It's the endless space of all time, And that's you as creation. And so you're looking within in this card. And that's how we find our abundance, because the fields that the Nine of Pentacles is in, those fields are also within that individual, it lies within you, it lies within me, it lies within us all, those are the fields of God, that's heaven. And heaven is on earth, for sure. See, we got the Two of Wands with the Nine of Wands and the reverse that's on top of the this Queen of Swords, with the Lovers in the reverse and the Seven of Cups in the reverse. Is so it's like, this during this break, during the slowdown period, where the King of Pentacles had to step into the hermit mode energy, the testing was on the put this emperor in a little position where they felt that they were going to go kind of have the world on their own, They're going to blaze out there hot and be like, fuck it, man. Right? And so, because they didn't want to take their position very seriously, that's why that King of Pentacles is in the reverse, And so, that the feminine energy of this emperor was like, well, the empress, fuck the empress. you know, I got this emperor energy in my masculine, so I'm like large and in charge. I got more power, possibly financially or whatever, right? But they're more immature. That's why they're in this reverse energy here as the knight, and then they're also in this page of swords energy right here, right? And so they're blazing ahead because they've really felt like they got the world in their hands, you know. But they really only got a grip on one wand, and that's dangerous. And then there's another wand behind them, you know, but they haven't really secured the grip on that one because they're too worried about what the world thinks. And so they're kind of like not in a very good defensive position to protect their own thoughts the way that they want to over here with this Knight of Swords, with this Page of Swords, right? You know, so they need to have more self-mastery. They're coming in so super hot, and that's the bullshit that this Queen of Swords right here, she's trying to cut that out because she knows that this individual is her lover, but her lover's in the reverse, you know, and so it's not something that has been going smoothly. And so she's you know, she's trying to help this emperor, her emperor, because that's her emperor, right? That's her relation. That's her divine masculine, you know. And so she's trying to help her emperor see how the group or the unfairness, how this manipulation over here has been the cause for the thinking, you know, this reverse thinking that they got us all in here, so that the feminines are not seeing themselves as a member of the family or as a member of the home or as an equal give and take partner to the masculines, you know. And so the queen is saying, hey, we can't be lovers with each other if you're in this reverse energy where you don't want to contribute or like be communicative and be like open, you know, you can't be like sneaking around and stuff like that, you know. And so that's what's put this page in arms. But like this page has gone into a hermit mode and they've thought about it, you know, and so they're seeing that truth. That's why Excalibur's here, you know. And so they know that they need to take that sword that they have, that they're kind of like coming after that queen a little bit, and lower that energy a little towards the queen, and start cutting these things out of her life, you know, their life. And so they could use that sword they have in their hand now because they do have a sword. But unfortunately, that sword's useless if they're going to be in that Knight of Wands in the reverse energy. You know, they got to know that like they're still not a knight, you know, but they got a queen that's trying to really guide them and get them out of that page energy to where they could actually be King of Pentacles, you know. But they got cut a few things out, you know. And so when they cut those things out, when they see that sword is the sword of God and that's the sword of truth, they cut it out, and then they'll have that cup, and then they'll come in that Knight of Cups energy, right? And they'll have a cup in their hand instead of a sword, and that Queen of Swords could be like, hey, I wasn't ever trying to put this sword against you. I was going to cut some steaks so we have a meal, you know? That's beautiful energy, you know? So I love that for everybody, you know? I love that. I love that for me. I love that for everybody. I love that for you. I love that for God, you know? Because this is also a thing that's a struggle that we all are facing, you know. And so because we are all higher energy of God, you know, that's why we embody ourselves as human beings, you know, and we're told otherwise, and so we put toxic stuff in us, and we treat ourselves in toxic ways, and we allow people to do toxic things to us, and we say toxic things, and we, you know, and because there's just so much toxicity on this planet today. And that's how they run this manipulation, this psyop. They tempt you with that shit, you know. And they get you taking their poison, they get you around their poisonous frequencies, or they get you around their black magic, and then they got control over you, and you start making poor decisions, and you start going into these negative energies, you know, even if you are an emperor. And that's how they keep themselves in charge. It's been going on a long time. They got it all figured out. They're assholes, man. These energies over here, this group up here, this non-equal give and take with trying to end cycles, but they don't got the wherewithal to do so. This Empress is gonna let loose with this King of Wands. Honestly, you know, they're just waiting on God's word, you know, because like this Empress is she might be admiral for all a bunch of ships and boats and stuff, but her masculine runs those legions of angels, that she has at bay right now, that she has waiting, just like they got troops and stuff being built up over here, all places doing all this stuff. Well, this empress right here and this high priestess, and even with this emperor, because this emperor's in the upright, he's not coming out in he's got internal issues, but his legions are still on board. God just hasn't given them full authority yet. They're still a little bit restricted because they can't trust their feminine energy. They might be manipulated. But that's not the case with this empress, man. Not at all. And so she's holding her masculine energy back in this King of Wands energy, so she's not really holding it. She's not putting it in that Emperor energy. She's holding it back in that King of Wands energy, because she's like, nah, man, I'm gonna control my masculine right now inside myself, because it might be wartime, and she wants to call shots because she knows she can't trust the feminine energy of her masculine as well, and she sees what's coming, but he doesn't, and so he's been a little headstrong because he thinks he's an emperor. He's a badass, and he's got all this shit he has to figure out, though, It happens. But that's why they make bad bitches, Yeah. Yeah, she knows that the crops are coming in, but she's been holding back a little bit, see? Why is 2 cups here screwed? Yeah, she's not worried about it. This queen's not worried about it either. She sleeps just fine at night because she's always protected. See, there's 9 swords on the wall right here, hanging above this individual but it's coming in the reverse, And so them swords, just swords. She can't hold all 10 swords while she sleeps, right? But she still protects herself, man. And so she's sleeping good at night. This page over here though, they got to cling on to that sword with both hands, and because it's the only sword they got, man. And they think that they got that queen in a position where she's crying over that one sword, but that ain't happening. And she's sleeping just fine at night. She's just waiting it out over here. She knows what she's got. She knows her abundance, and she knows that she's protected night and day, We got two of Pentacles and the 8 Cups. So that's the Infinity, So that's the 8, right? But the 2 Cups is in the reverse. The 2 Pentacles is the upright position, which is saying that this is not about walking away, It's about walking away but looping back. That there's unfinished business. So that's what that says right there. Like I said earlier, the 2 of Cups right here represented 2 of these cups of the Empresses, And so the 8 Cups that you see here, that's that Empress saying, to this King of Pentacles, that, hey, yeah, I've got to go take time out, or whatever. You can walk away from it, but you're taking 2 cups with you, that are mine, and I'm willing to take that risk, I understand that sometimes, that's the way the world works, but I want you to understand that these 10 Pentacles, over here, they're 10 when we're together. They're 10 for you. They're 10 for me, and that's why we're the Empress and the Emperor, and that's why we're coming out in that energy, and a King of Pentacles in reverse is who you are, and so there's a really big opportunity for this individual who knows who they are, and I know who I am, and we all know who we are, and so that's how we roll, right? And so we listen to the Most High, we listen to the Divine, we listen to level-headed individuals who are making sense that speak out love, right? We do. That's us. We roll that way. That's why we're bad motherfuckers, man. And so Nobody's walking away from nothing, you know. Everything's protected. That is God, right? And that this individual right here holds 2 coins in their hands, you know. And so there might be a juggling period right now um, where things are in the air, you know, and there's decisions that have to be made, but those decisions are going to be made, and nobody's walking away from anything. And so we still have 20 cups, because in reality, just because there's a little turmoil right now, that doesn't change the fact that this is an emperor and an empress, man. I mean, you know? And that's what this King of Pentacles is seeing. And that's why they on the bottom of the deck, we've got King of Cups and upright. Because that King of Pentacles start to think with their heart, you know? We'll take one more here. Yeah, one more, Spirit. We'll call this thing good. Let's go get the pickup truck done. Keep going. Spirit says clear the deck. Yeah, see, because that card right at the bottom of the deck, man. We don't want to end it. We don't want to end it. That energy. That's the energy that really needs to go away. A lot of that energy right now is stingy, you know. It's like people aren't not working together, you know. They're worried about what they have and what they're going to lose. They're not worried about what's out there in the field, you know. They're not worried about the prosperity and the abundance that God offers us when we see that we have plenty, you know. And that's the energy that we're really, 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 really trying to work out of, right? Right, Spirit? Yeah, there's another one we're trying to work out of. You know, again, the Page of Wands really in any position that's not good energy. It's not a good cooperative energy, you know, and especially coupled with this energy here. There's a person that needs to grow up and let go, you know. And they're in the Hangman position right now. But it was in the reverse. I picked up backwards, I think, you know. And so there's just going to be some wait time, you know. But either way, I'm confused on which direction I picked it up in right now. And so there's a bit of period of waiting, of course. You know, we said everything slowed down, you know. And so there's a lot of victory on this in this read right here. And it's like it's on that tree, right? Is it going to be the sacrifice? You know, are we gonna make a sacrifice for one to gain, or are we gonna make a sacrifice that is not a sacrifice but an enlightenment? It's like a letting go, you know. It's like, can we let go of the past, step off that tree, and build a future, right? And that's all of us right now, you know. And let go of the childish, you know, the childishness, like as a species, you know, as a being, as a divine being in yourself. You know where you're childish. You know what you're fearful of. You know, we all do. We know the traits that we have within us that are really embarrassing, you know, because at one point or another in our lives we got to face them. But when we were more interconnected, that was easier to do because we all had a lot more awareness, you know, of each other and ourselves, you know, and we cared more for each other, and that's important. So that's what we're trying to learn, you know, and that way we don't all get sacrificed on that tree, you know. We all don't get hung on that tree again. Like, that's just what it is, right? We're here for divine connection, you know, a real open and honest understanding that's telepathic with each other, you know. That is a conversation, so that, like, you know, instead of CIA listening on us, you know, Most High, we all know that's listening all the time, you know. And that's what we need to be aware of, really, big time. That's what that Queen of Swords is trying to teach us, you know. That's what this Empress and this High Priestess is really trying to teach us. And that's how we roll. You know, it's going to be easy for us to learn this lesson because we already have, you know. And it just keeps happening over and over and over. The problem is that everybody forgets, you know, that money shit keeps kind of creeping back in there or whatever. And people get mean on each other. It's all this meanness, you know, these blood cults and stuff, you know. And, you know, I've done a lot of blood work. You know, I mentioned that earlier, you know. But you know, God made me from different thread, you know. And so blood's not for everybody, you know. But they're doing blood work on massive scale right now. And you know, I have my part in that. But like God told me, Spirit told me that the the blood that I spilled, um, that there's great change, coming, and it gave reverence to that the spirits that were bringing that change in, kind of, and it's upon us, and so that it's what it is, Nothing dies forever, man. It's just a cycle where it's like, these people have to clean that out of them systems, and so they got to know that the blood work that they do is not ordained by God, and like the only time that God does ordain blood work is when there's unordained blood work being done, and like there's a lot of lies around this, this topic right here, and there's a lot of shame. There's no speaking of it, but it's the practice that they use to keep that raven hiding underneath that mushroom, man. It's fear tactics, and that's how it's worked for a long time. You do what a motherfucker tells you to do. If they take your baby from you and they kill him right in front of you, like that's supposed to break it. Most individuals, that's supposed to break people, and that's what they do, and they've been doing it for a long time, and I put blood on my altar, but not of swine, and that's because I don't respect their low line shit, they're disrespectful, dirty spirits, and I tricked them, and they thought they was gonna get me, Most High protected me because Most High knew why I was doing that spell work, and now they're gonna see, it's coming down again. It's like it's not just me alone. I'm not saying I did that alone because I know at the same time that other people was doing what they needed to do. We gotta work with all elements. But anyhow, a little side note, I guess. I just sharing it with you, because it's truth. And so it's like, but right now, them motherfuckers out there, I work in secret and stuff, and so they know though what's going on, man, and they can send in people, like they can send in troops and shit. That they can send in shit. Demons, they know what they're doing. They know how to do it. They know who we are. They know who we are. They've known who we are for a long time. They were there's three of them Persians or whatever, them holy men, right? The alchemists that was waiting for Jesus Christ and the fallen stars to come find him, And so they try to tell you they don't know when that guy was born, but shit, those guys, they wrote everything down, They burned that shit in Alexandria, right? And so when weird stuff happens around you and shit with people and everything, don't ever fail to take into consideration that you're chosen. And they're doing that to you for a reason, But I think right now we're in a time where the ones of us that's real chosen, we're really in our moment right now, And so you don't got a lot of people around you, and you're probably keeping to yourself, Probably really being real protective of your temple and of your space right now, Like Christ's Spirit was, And so it's really happening, and it's really us. Like if like I know, like because I bear witness to the work that Lord God does. I do bear witness firsthand, and not like great, not. I mean, it's a corny ass thing to say, but just like in the movies, But like that's a powerful thing, That means that means that. It's really that way right now. We got a lot to do. There's a lot of work for us. I like to work, and so God tells me though that I don't gotta put blood on the altar no more. That I don't gotta bleed myself no more now, and like that stuff. It's a different time now, we don't gotta be like Jesus alone, because that's that image that they really put out there is a lot of oppression and a lot of suffering and pain and enlightenment, you know. And enlightenment's the best feeling you ever had. So yeah, I love everybody. I love God Most High, you know, and that is everybody. And so rise up, you know, rise up with me. That's what I say. Rise up together, you know. Let's race to the top. God loves you. One love, y'all.